Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. We're the Road to Glory podcast. I'm Juliet.
And I'm Cecilia. And today we are here to be talking about the F1 Academy in-season test that was recently held in Bahrain. And obviously, we also have to talk about what we think will happen and go down in Las Vegas in only a couple of weeks' time. And I am scared, honestly.
It's actually sneaking up on us.
It
It is a
is.
long break between the races, but I'm really excited for Las Vegas to finally come around. We've got a little while, but also I'm really scared because it is the championship decider. It's our final 2 races, and there's everything on the line here.
There really is, because for those who watched F1 Academy last year, it was pretty obvious for a long time who was gonna win the championship. But this year, we'll literally only have 9 points separating Weug and Doriane Pan, so it's gonna be crazy.
It is, and you should definitely tune in and watch the weekend because literally we don't know. Later on, you can hear our predictions of what we think could happen. But if you can't watch the weekend, you can always head over to our channel and listen to our recap because we will be recapping the weekend once it is over. But going back to what we will be talking about today, I think we're going to start off with the test, which, as you said, happened in Bahrain. It happened from the 28th till the 30th of October, so this past week recording. I feel like they love to test in Bahrain. I mean, even F2 and F3 test there as well, so makes sense. They don't go there on the calendar, but I guess it's good for the people to get some more time in the car that don't necessarily get to, like the rookies this year.
Yeah, it's a good testing circuit. Obviously, a lot of other series also race on it, but for testing, obviously, it's very rare that it rains, so it's very consistent track conditions, which is obviously good for getting a good amount of mileage in the test. And obviously, as you mentioned, it's not a part of the calendar. If they could test in Las Vegas, that was what they would do, but obviously they can't just close down the strip, so they can't go testing, unfortunately. So had to pick somewhere else to get in the final things adjusted, getting some better feelings of the car, and yeah, that's why we obviously have to test so they're all ready and prepped for Las Vegas. So it's not just you go into the car and drive down the strip. It's been a couple of months since you last have been in the car, but who cares? So good they
Exactly.
had the test.
Yeah, I think in-season testing is very important for F1 Academy because they do the most in-season testing. Most people don't do in-season testing, but F1 Academy do, which is good. And they get 18 hours of track time during the test in Bahrain over the 3 days, and 7 sets of Pirelli tires. So amount of track time for them and some tires to play around with.
Yes, because obviously you mentioning how much testing they do. Obviously, F1 Academy is an F4 series, so when you are still on that level, it is so crucial to get a lot of time in the car. So it's definitely good that they do a lot of testing besides just the normal races. So definitely very important for the development of each driver. But I guess we can get into some of the big points of what happened actually in the test. We had the news that Aiva Anagnostiadis sadly couldn't take part of the test because she's still not completely healed from the surgery she had in her foot.
It's definitely better for her to not push herself and then get in the car and then not be able to race in Vegas. Rather take this time to really let her foot heal, and to then come back hopefully 100% in Vegas in a couple weeks' time. But we did have Rachel Robertson who took her seat, and she recently participated in the F1 Academy rookie test. So that is very good opportunity. As we can see now, this rookie test is if you get into this rookie test and you perform well, you will get opportunities. As we saw with Megan Bruce stepping in for Aiva again in Singapore, and now that we have Rachel stepping in again. So yeah, it's interesting to see that if you show pace, you can get these opportunities and perhaps maybe get a seat next year. It'll be interesting to see if we see Rachel for a full-time seat next year.
It definitely will be because Rachel is also like an interesting driver. I just briefly like looked her up and apparently she didn't like start her racing career until like 2022. So like very recent that she has gotten into racing. So very
Yeah.
impressive that she is at a point where she can like be testing with F1 Academy and definitely a prospect for a seat next year. We still don't know. I need the F1 Academy silly season to start. Like I need to know where people are going and like who are getting in. Like I need to know.
I know, because there's been like no rumors of where anyone
No.
is going. I think they're all just waiting for the season to end, which is boring,
Yeah.
but it's fine. We'll wait with you.
It's okay.
But yeah, F1 Academy silly season is going to be so good because I definitely
Yes.
think we will be getting some swapping around.
Yeah. Also, obviously, Las Vegas being Las Vegas, I feel like that is the perfect stage for like someone to announce something because obviously last year F1 Academy didn't race in Las Vegas, but nonetheless they had like an event there because they were gonna race there next year. So Alba Larsen was announced in Las Vegas that she would join the grid the following year. So it will be interesting to see if other teams go with that approach of like announcing some drivers or some swapping around. It will be interesting to see for sure.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see.
Yeah, but more changes in who were taking part in the test. We also had on the final day of testing 2 drivers who weren't able to be there on the final day, and that was obviously Ella Lloyd and Chloe Chambers because they had the important Formula E women's test they did instead.
Yeah, which I think is very important, like,
Yeah,
especially for those 2 drivers. I mean, those 2 are actually fighting for P3 in the championship at the
P3.
moment. So, I feel like it's okay that they missed the last day of testing, and I think it's such an incredible opportunity that
Yeah.
Formula E do give to women to have the special test. So, it's really exciting to see some F1 Academy girls going over for that, and, Chloe being I think she was the fastest.
She was. She was the fastest in like both of their sessions throughout
We
the
love you,
day. Love to
Chloe.
see it. Yes. Also, like very closely followed by last year's F1 Academy champion, Abby Poling. Like there was nothing separating them. It was incredible to see.
So good. So yeah, that was really cool. Chloe Chambers was connected to Mahindra and Ella Lloyd was connected to Envision. So it'll be interesting to see if they continue these partnerships with these teams. But yes, a very valid reason to be missing the final day of testing.
For sure. But now I guess we can actually get into testing. And obviously we want more people with like every single detail because the same issue we have with every single feeder series test is that obviously we only have reports of what has happened. And we like don't know that much more than that, obviously, and it can get boring just being like, oh, well, then this person went fastest and then this person went fastest. So we'll just give you like a general overview of what happened. And I feel like we just have to get out of the way. Maya Weug, clean sweep, completely topping every single session. Like, how is that even possible?
She absolutely dominated. Like, this was
Mm,
Maya's test to put her stamp on this championship and be like, I am here to fight. No
yep.
one is beating me, even if it's in testing. It was crazy.
Apparently not. It really was. Like, I feel like it was such a statement as well. I feel like it was very intentional. Like, that is just my feeling or like thoughts on it. Obviously, she could just be the person with the most pace. We don't know. But like, I feel like MP and Maya really went out to be like, I want to top every single session. Because obviously, there's also potentially a part of it that's like mind games between Doriane and Maya already. Like, will she be able to shake Doriane slightly by showing herself at the top of every single session? Like, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. But it was a huge statement and very impressive. because we haven't seen Maya dominate this year. She's been up
No.
there for sure, but we've seen a lot of people up there with her as well. So
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see if she can carry this performance over into the final race of the season.
Yes. Because it's always important to remember that Maya is dominating here in Bahrain in testing, but obviously Las Vegas is a completely different deal. Like,
Exactly.
both the circuit is obviously very different, but also like the whole pressure of being there and it being the final, like it really will come down to like who of them, like Maya or Doriane, who of them will cope with that pressure the best. I think that will be a big point to like who ends up as champion essentially.
I totally agree, because it's like it's one thing being fast in a test at a completely different
Mm.
circuit when there's technically nothing on the line. It's
Yeah.
totally different when you're qualifying under the pressure, under the lights. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. But it was a statement from Maya. I mean, Doriane was still up there as well. Um, we had a lot of people, like your usual suspects. Ella put in some fast laps. Chloe was fast. I would like to mention that this test was also really well for Joanne Chicante. Like, I feel like maybe MP are starting to. I mean, they've always been a good team to be with, but maybe they're starting to get more comfortable with Joanne because obviously she's a rookie this year. So it was really nice to see her also putting in some great lap times.
MP were definitely on it for like the
Yeah.
entirety of the test because obviously Maya being the quickest one in every session, that is insane. But also, as you mentioned, Joanne, and also especially Alba, she was often pretty close behind Maya. So it's like it was all three of them more often than not that they were putting in fast times and really showing the pace of the MP, which is also like making me slightly question my prediction of like Alba switching over to Prema. Obviously, it could still happen in my dream world, but like MP really look like they are on it right now. So it will be interesting to see if like Alba decides to stay with MP for our second season or if like she makes the jump to Prema or like could be any other team, but like those are the only two options that I see as realistic right now. Looking at the performance of the different teams, guess we'll have to wait and see. But definitely, it is interesting to see if like MP has just found some great pace, or if it was more intentional that they were specifically pushing harder towards qualifying pace, because that
Yeah.
has obviously been an issue for, I would say, pretty much all of their drivers. Because even though Meyer is literally challenging for the title, qualifying definitely hasn't always been her strongest part of the weekend. We've always like applauded her for like her race pace, getting on the podium every single race. So if she could like just make it easier for herself, essentially taking pole. Also like for Alba, obviously, and Joanne, they often qualify lower down the field as well.
Yeah.
Which is also something Alba mentioned that on day one, at least it was like specifically qualifying pace that she was working towards figuring out how to like get the most out of new tires, because we also have to remember like drivers like Alba and Joanne are only 16 years old. They don't have a lot of experience. So like just the whole phase of like getting new tires for qualifying, how do you get the most out of them? That is a whole learning progress. I definitely think they put a lot of attention on during the test, where it's like, we obviously don't know if that's the same that every other team did. So
Exactly.
a lot of questions there.
Yeah, we don't know what everyone's run plans were. We don't know what because teams come into different tests and they specifically want to focus on something. So who knows? Maybe Premel were doing long runs. Maybe ART were doing something totally different. So it is hard to compare when we really don't get enough information from these tests.
No.
But we just got to take what we get, which is the lap times. And what the lap time showed was Maya on top.
Exactly. But I still feel like MP, even though again I do think it's true pace from Maya, like don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I still think it was on their mind to like we need to be dominating every session almost, because we also had, I'm slightly skipping ahead, but like on day 3, for example, in the final part of the day, the final session, I noticed that the race report or whatever you call it mentioned that no one really cared to like go out and put in a lot of laps, but Maya specifically went out to put in fast laps. So it was like definitely a goal. I think that no matter what everyone else were doing, they needed to like go out and get in that good lap.
Yeah, there's something behind it. There was a reason why they were putting in so many laps and so many good laps and really focused on fast laps. So it'll be interesting to see if they are trying to play mind games or they just really want to get qualifying like really under control so that Maya has a really more easy race in Las Vegas.
And I also completely get that because obviously, as a driver going into the final race, knowing that, or final race weekend, knowing that you're the person who is 9 points behind, like going into the weekend, having that high feeling of knowing that you were number one for the entire test, like that also brings mental value, I'm sure.
Absolutely. She's just going to come in with a whole bunch of confidence, which is what she needs because she did have those issues a couple race weekends earlier where it was not her fault, but that might have like knocked her down a bit and made her less motivated. And I think this will absolutely make her so motivated to just come in there and see if she can claw those 9 points down and win the championship.
Yes, it will be exciting to see. Definitely. And one thing that's not exciting is that I'll have to mess up my sleep schedule completely if I want to watch everything live. The struggle of being European, I know, but like, I don't even want to know at times
I don't
if what
either.
academy will be at. It will be insane. And like, I can't sleep through it. Like, I can't just miss it.
There's too much on the line. I mean, I wouldn't miss
Exactly.
it anyway, but there is way too much on the line to sleep through.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's going to be at ridiculous times. But you know what? We love it. So what can I
Exactly.
say?
We'll suffer together, and I'm sure it'll be worth it. One thing I just really hope won't happen is any reliability issues, because
Mm,
obviously now in the test, we didn't see too much like reliability issues. I do believe on like day 2, Alba stopped on track, which is obviously MP. So like MP,
mhm.
can we not have any
Yeah, please.
reliability issues in Las Vegas? Just also like Prema, please don't. Like imagine if the championship is literally decided by like a car failure. That will be pure tragedy, honestly.
I totally agree. Let's just have good racing and a championship that is decided by what happens on track with driver skill.
Yes, that is all we want to see, and obviously it often doesn't pan out that way, but we can hope. We can hope.
Yeah, it's
Um,
motorsports, but what can we do?
exactly. But yeah, as I mentioned, Alba on day 2 had that failure or whatever happened. At least she stopped on track. Red flag. The only other incident we saw was that Ella made a mistake and got stuck in the gravel, also causing a red flag. But I feel like that is pretty decent. Like those were the only 2 incidents we had across the 3 days of running.
Yeah, exactly. It's not that much. So good on the girls and just everyone at track because we want them to get as many laps in as they can. We want them to be able to test. We
Hmm.
don't want to sit with red flags for ages.
No. Another thing to mention about day 2 is that Doriane seemed to be more neutral, kind of, on day 2,
Mm,
like more in the background. She was only like 7th and 9th fastest across the 2 sessions on day 2. So obviously we don't know what they're doing, but
no.
definitely it wasn't like a competition between Maya and Doriane, like some people might have expected, like going into the final test. But she was just chilling down, lower down, top 10.
Yeah, exactly. We had no idea what she was doing, but it was surprising to see her not like right up there. We also saw Tina did a lot of laps that day as well. So
Yeah,
that makes me kind of think that maybe Prema were just going for some long laps on day 2 and they weren't focused on qualifying or just putting in fast laps. They were just like, let's get these long runs out.
exactly. I guess we'll have to wait and see until Las Vegas with what the different teams have to bring to the table, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, but any other thoughts about testing. Honestly, I don't feel like a lot happened. Obviously, it's just
No.
testing, so there's not
Yeah.
much to talk about anyway.
There isn't. I feel like we can probably move. I mean, I know we've already like mentioned kind of some perhaps predictions for Las Vegas. But I just think from the test, feel like I know the test, very, very different circuit to what we're going
Mm.
to. But I really hope that Joanne has a good race, because it has been her rookie season, and I'm very excited to see what she can do in her second year. But I would love to see her a little bit higher up the grid, especially that she did perform well in the test. So my little prediction is that perhaps Joanne will have a good weekend. Let's score lots of points, Joanne.
Yeah.
I'm backing you.
I feel like I have like a similar prediction, obviously because we share the same brain
Yeah,
sometimes. We're back.
we
We're
always do.
back sharing the same brain cells. Because my prediction for who's gonna perform well, or I have a feeling will perform well. I just feel like a broken record at this point because this is what I predict every weekend until it becomes true. And that is obviously that Alba Larsen, she's currently the highest ranked driver in the standings who hasn't been on the podium yet. So I need that Alba Larsen podium, at least, like if not a win, then at least a podium in her rookie season. Because I still feel like she'll be one of the drivers who like may not be like the top favorite for the championship next year. That will probably be Alicia, Ella, those kind of drivers. But like Alba will definitely still be in the conversation. I feel like it's kind of crazy that she is seen as this really great driver, which she obviously is, but she hasn't managed to get on the podium yet. So obviously her figuring out her qualifying pace here in Bahrain, hopefully she'll able to transfer that into Las Vegas. And obviously we have seen earlier in the season when they go to tracks that they haven't been at before, like when they raced in China, literally the first race weekend, she qualified in the top 3. So like, if she can bring that advantage of being at a place where none of the drivers have been at, and then figured out what she's doing in qualifying, and she has developed her race pace through the season. Like, this is the perfect
She's
recipe for
got it.
Alba in Las
Yeah.
Vegas. She
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, that's a good prediction. I can 100% seeing that. I also feel like in the beginning of the season, Alicia was a bit more of a conversation. She's
Yeah.
like not dropped back a bit, but she's had a couple mistakes, not qualified the best, and hasn't had. I feel like she was on the podium a little bit more earlier in the season. So my
She was
prediction,
definitely more in the conversation. Like, she was even at a point where she could, like, challenge for the championship at one point.
exactly. So my prediction is we will get an Alicia podium. I don't know which race or when, but I just think she will be up there. Maybe we'll get a win. I don't know. But I have a good feeling about Alicia in Las Vegas. I might have just cursed her. But you know what? I wanted to say it, so
Yes, now it's out in the universe. Then we just have to cross our fingers that it will be true. Because she definitely needs it with like how rocky her season has ended up being. Like, I'm sure she wants to end it on a high with how
yeah.
good her first season has been. She has just not been getting the results in the more recent race weekends, unfortunately. So I can definitely see that happening too. Guess we'll have to wait and see. A more negative
Oh
prediction.
no. Oh
I
gosh.
have to mention that I unfortunately still think that high tech will be in struggle town. Like
Mm,
I just can't see them perform well, and I want to see them perform well, but obviously with Ava coming back from her injury and Nicole Havada having the worst time possible last race they did as well. I just can't see it. Obviously, at this point, we don't know who the wildcard driver will be yet. Maybe they'll be able to get something magical out of the car. We don't know yet, but I have a feeling high tech will still be struggling when we get to Las Vegas, unfortunately.
it'll be interesting if we actually
Yeah.
get Rachel Robinson as the wildcard driver. I mean, we might get an American, but it
Mm.
it would be cool to see her because obviously she just stepped in the high tech, so she would be going back with the team. I mean, maybe it'll be interesting to see her there next year. But as you mentioned, with the wildcard driver, we don't we don't have anyone yet. Um,
No.
I wonder when they'll announce that. Maybe like a week or so before.
Yeah, I feel like it's always super late that they like
Mm,
publicly announce who the driver will be. I was like just thinking about the wildcard driver. I am imagining a complete Hello Kitty livery on that person's car. Like, can you imagine if
I
that happens? It
need
was yes.
I need, because obviously we have the collaboration and the merch coming out.
Mm,
If we
yeah.
get a Hello Kitty complete livery, like I'm never shutting up about it.
No.
It's I need that. I need Hello Kitty to sponsor a full-time
Yeah.
seat. I need that. Like, I love Charlotte Tilbury, but I would love the Hello Kitty even more. Like, that's so iconic. That's
Yes.
so like girlhood and so perfect and so F1 Academy. Like, this is
Mm.
not a want. This has to happen.
It honestly has to. Like, I can't help but think about the whole thing where people say, like, oh, more young girls get into racing because they saw someone racing in a pink car. Imagine if they see someone racing in a Hello
You know,
Kitty
Hello
car.
Kitty
Like, literally, like, could get so many more little girls into racing, and that is just what we need.
Exactly. I need like a whole Hello Kitty collection of like Hello Kitty in F1 cars or F1 Academy cars. Like
Yeah.
I let's maximize on this opportunity, guys.
Yes, honestly, let's do it. Let's go for it. But going back to what we know will happen. Oh,
Yes.
well, not what we know will happen, because obviously it hasn't happened Las Vegas yet. But with the wild card, as you mentioned, I have a feeling that it would be an American driver
Yeah.
being the wild card. But like, then again, it also would make sense if it was Rachel. Um, Now that she has done the test, like she would be the most obvious choice. But we'll have to wait and see. Any other predictions for Las Vegas? We obviously have to take the big one,
Yeah.
which is who will actually win the championship.
Oh, this is hard. I mean, we've got a
It is.
50-50 shot. So, if we have
Mm.
different answers, one of us is winning here.
That is
Um
true.
so yeah, I don't know. Do you want to go first?
Okay. Because my predictions are essentially what I've wrote down in my notes
Mm,
is that my brain is saying, like, I can't ignore the fact that Maya made a clean sweep in Bahrain. So, like, logically, she is probably going in with more pace, maybe, and like with the momentum, then she would win the championship. But
yeah.
I still have like not just my feelings, but like a sixth sense almost is still telling me that I need to pick Doriane Panda, and I am going for it. I'm saying Doriane will keep her lead in the championship, and she will be crowned champion in Las Vegas.
That is very, very valid. And
Yeah.
she does come in with that 9-point lead. Which if she performs really well and outscores Maya, she's totally got it.
Yeah.
It's not the biggest buffer, but it is a buffer.
You-
And just the Mercedes girlie, and you can't say no. And the Prema
Exactly.
girlie, like
Yes.
absolutely.
Mercedes
But
and Prema, like, how can I not go for that?
exactly. But that actually lands up working really well because my thoughts and feelings were that Maya just coming off of this insane test. Maybe that's what they want the media to think. But anyways, that's a that's a side point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go for Maya. I'm gonna root. I mean, I love Dorian and I love Prema, but I just feel like perhaps Maya can claw it back and she can win this championship. I'm so excited to see actually what
Yeah.
lands up happening because we also have a fight for P3 between Chloe Chambers and Ella Lloyd. And it being Chloe's home race. 'Cause she's from like if you're American, all of the races are your home race.
Yeah.
Um, so it being a home race, I'm sure she'll have family there. I hope she'll have friends as well. So I just feel like she's gonna do well also this weekend. But Ella's also coming back of a good test as well. So it's like There is so much happening in the
Yeah.
championship at the moment.
It's insane. Also, like, obviously looking at the standings, it's literally only 2 points between Ella and Chloe, with obviously Ella being ahead with 2 points because she has had the momentum in the more recent weekends. But like, that is just crazy. Like, anyone could get P3 as well, out of those two. And not only that, we obviously also have to remember the team championship, which is like a thing in itself, which is
Yeah,
annoying that we often don't notice the teams as much in F1 Academy as we do in other series, because they're very much just like Mercedes, Ferrari, but like we have to remember the actual teams running the cars. And there we have still a close-ish championship because we have Prema leading by 49 points. So, like, obviously, it can sound like a lot, but obviously, remembering that each team have 3 drivers. Like, if one team gets a really good weekend, like MP, which is obviously second, could still close the gap and take the lead. Like, we don't know. So,
exactly.
that's still up for grabs as well.
Yeah. It's not just Maya who has a lot on the line. The entire team of MP do as well, because they
Yeah.
obviously want to win the championship. So I can understand why they were really focusing on their drivers getting a lot of laps in the test. And yeah, it's mathematically possible for them to. It seems like a big gap, but it actually isn't when you boil it down with all 3 drivers that could have good weekends. And we literally, I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. Obviously, we can't see into the
Oh,
future. But I definitely think it's going to be a weekend to tune into. I think a lot is going to happen. We're going to get some championships decided, and maybe some announcements. I really think there could be some announcements.
I think so too. But yeah, we just have to wait. Obviously, it's not that far away anymore.
Yeah.
It's definitely getting closer now, which is scary. Like I can already like envision in the middle of the night or whenever these races are gonna be in like European time. Just watching the races, it will be so nerve-wracking. And also
Mm.
because we will have to like do the live maths of like this
Yeah,
person will win. Like please, then like all these scenarios, especially between obviously Doriane and Maya, because it all comes down to these 2 last races. And obviously it being 9 points, like imagine if, say, Maya wins the sprint and like something happens to Doriane, then she would
mm,
be leading by 1 point. So like it could
exactly.
all come down to the final race, really.
Exactly. I'm really excited. I'm really, really nervous for it. But
Yeah,
it's going to be a good weekend regardless of what happens. Um, so yeah,
it will be.
I think that is our little recap on what happened in F1 Academy in season testing in Bahrain, and also just some of our predictions. Let us know if you have any predictions. Um, who do you think is going to win the championship? The team's championship? And are you excited for the weekend? And yeah, let us know if you have anything that you specifically want us to cover. Um, but yeah,
I guess that was it for this week's episode, but remember that we are still doing an episode that comes out every single Wednesday. So you will not miss us for one moment, basically.
yeah,
So yeah, we definitely
yes.
hope you enjoyed this episode and that you will tune back in.
Yeah, follow us on all of our socials as well. If you miss us between our weekly episodes, go check out our TikTok, our Instagram, everything else, Twitter, all of our socials, because we are there and we are getting content out for you guys. But yeah, thank you so much for tuning into this one, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.